My name is Ami. I'm from Gujarat. I'm chartered accountant by profession. Living right now in Pune since last almost 10 plus years. I was working with audit firms, Big Fours, and investment bank. Right now I'm pursuing my own trading, equity trading and investment venture. I handle people's portfolio now, not earlier. Since childhood I was very career oriented person, and I never thought that I'll have to leave the career path which I decided to leave behind and go into a family life. Because I always preferred career over family. And when my daughter was born, even though I tried after that, but she was not able to handle daycare scenarios and that environment, and she was continuously sick. Because of that, I have to leave my job, stay at home. Even though I thought that I'll go back soon, but I was not able to. And then after COVID struck, and the gap was increasing year by year. And that was quite traumatic. Nothing was wrong outside or family-wise or socially or financially, but that thing I always believed that something is died in me because I had to leave. I was constantly in regret and grief that I'm not able to use my talents or put my education to use, or whatever capabilities I have, I'm just not using them and doing thankless job. I was quite a workaholic person. I would work like 16-17 hours a day, just go back to home, change 1 or 2 hours rest, and I go back. So that lifestyle has also had an impact on my overall digestive system first. And after, when I was going through this emotional trauma, so that aggravated and my gut health went for a toss. So in mid of 2020, I started having the symptoms of ulcerative colitis. Even though I didn't know at that time, but I noticed the bleeding, internal bleeding and everything from symptoms. Almost for 6 months, we tried different type of medicines. After that, there was a proper diagnosis that it was ulcerative colitis and intestine was quite damaged. And at that time, all the doctors suggested that you have to do meditation because all these things get triggered because of the stress. In my case, the stress was a bigger attribute because since last 4 or 5 years I was going through in the same passage and I was almost stuck. How I realized that I was stuck is when in 1 year I was filing my income tax return and I realized that I have not worked at all during the year. Because I was doing share trading on and off, not regularly, because I still had a hope that I will go back into corporate. So that was the first point when I realized that something is wrong. And within 3-4 months, I had encountered this disease. So medicines, allopathy, I started iReAwake also side by side. Ayurvedic didn't help me at all, but allopathy was helping me in a way that it was suppressing the disease, suppressing the symptoms. It's not curing it in perspectives. And doctors were also like, it's not going to cure you because there is no cure for these things. Whenever you miss any of your routine or you change your lifestyle, you don't maintain your discipline, or you take stress or overthink, it's going to trigger. But because of medicines, I was able to handle day-to-day life and everything. It's not an issue. Mentally, I was still at the roadblock. Before, when the years which lead up to this, now when I visit them, I realized that there were times I just switch on the TV. I'll do the bare minimum work. That kitchen का कर लिया, सफाई वफाई कर ली, ये सब हो गया, बच्चे का कुछ भी देखना था वो देख लिया. I'll switch on the TV and I'll sit for hours. Even at night, I'll not be like कि मुझे सो जाना है. आज बहुत थक गई. I'll keep on watching. And the same stuff I'll keep on watching. Till the time my eyes started straining and automatically I go into sleep. And I kept on looking for a way to get back into my career. So when I tried doing that, during those days I'll be fine. because there's some energy, I feel happy and all things. But as soon as you realize that no, it's not going to work out, because there are some offers, because of timing and a lot of other things, I was not able to take those jobs. So at that time I felt helpless. I used to stare at my degrees, certificates and everything, and I felt very unhappy. And, I didn't want to turn 60 and thinking that I've not done enough for my life. No neighbors, no people, not much people or like-minded people to talk to. So those things were also affecting me somewhere. And I started to feel, I never felt bored of myself, but at that place I was feeling quite lonely and scared also sometimes. I used to get up at night 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and not able to sleep. And it happened continuously for 2 years. So earlier I was never a silly type of cheerful person, but I was a happy person. I rather solve people's problem rather than being in one. I was quite confident. I would not ask other people to take my own decisions. I'd say this is it. I never went out and looked for validation, even though I made number of mistakes, but I never regretted also. Even though if I made a mistake in a project, I'm not done enough. I'm not overthink it or sacrifice my sleep or for days I'll sulk about it. But during this period or the period which lead up to this, I become an overthinker for useless things. I become quite irritated at home. I listen to people, I'll play with my daughter, but there's no heart in it. Overall in a family, most of the time I'm unhappy. So my husband has to constantly counsel me. But he also had a busy job. So how long you are going to depend on it and how much he will be able to help. So when I started trading also, it was holding me back from taking risk. So sometimes I book profit for a very marginal amount. I'll not go into calculation like risk to reward ratio kitna ho gaya, ROI kitna mil raha hai, year on year how much progress I'm making. I was not comparing, not doing anything, not taking up even any course for that, because I thought that I don't want to spend more money on myself. After I diagnosed with ulcer, few months it will go okay, but few months will be like hell. And that internal bleeding, constant fatigue, it drains complete energy out of me. My friend introduced me to his mentor who took a course and he trained us for marketing and everything. I wanted to push into that, but my health was holding me back. For days I'll just sleep on because I'm not able to work or I don't have any energy to apply my techniques or brains and anything. I don't want to do analysis, anything. And during all this time also, whenever we wish to travel, when I go I feel sick, or when we come back, definitely there is a sick period for a longer time. And those time are not, that makes you irritating, that makes you lose your mind. You don't want to do anything, but you have to do some couple of your duties and everything. So that was giving me a lot of pressure. And I was not able to see any way to come out of it through allopathy. So my old doctor was quite pissed off and he realized that I did Ayurvedic also together and that makes situation worse. So he ran some reports and everything, and then after he said, at this rate, how your disease is aggravated, you have just 5 years left. So that day my battery was completely off. And 24 and everything, I was actually counting. So the doctor which I now have in Pune, I shared with him. So plus I realized, I used to Google a lot about health. So I realized that this can turn into cancer also. And apparently all my symptoms were turning into some type of cancer. So cancer was my biggest fear because I don't want to lose out on my daughters growing up. So that was my biggest fear. उसके ऊपर मुझे बहुत काम करना पड़ा तभी भी, because वो नाम सुनते ही या किसी को है ये सुनते ही ना मेरे से कैसे बोला, स्टमक में नोट जैसा फील होता है ना, टाइट, वैसा एकदम। एंड माय मदर इन लॉ हैज एक्चुअली अ हैबिट, वहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोगों का कैंसर है, आई डोंट नो हाउ, बट शी ऑलवेज आई विजिटेड एंड शी ऑलवेज हैव 1 or 2 केसेस, इसको कैंसर होगा, इसको कैंसर होगा। सो आई टोल्ड हर आल्सो, प्लीज मुझे इन्फॉर्म भी मत करना किसी को कुछ हो। I was taking almost 6 medicines, and whenever there is a lapse, some 10 medicines I have to take every day. The longest period, July 24 to March 25. I tried a lot of medication things. Ayurvedic didn't help it. It makes the situations worse. जो चालू किया था उससे भी ज़्यादा। It's not helping me to how to reduce stress. They are not giving me that. They are giving me anti-stress medicine or something which will slow out your brain and you will sleep mostly. That you are drowsy throughout the day, which is also not a very healthy thing if you want to work. So I think July 24th was the worst thing. Going to Goa, and there was not a single day, a single time that we didn't have to rush back because I was not able to stand also. Always like you get severe stomach pain. You have no idea when you'll have to clutch your stomach and sit down. I've done it several times while doing vegetable shopping in malls. So that thing was now exhausting me, and Goa actually triggered a lot of things. Because of me, family was also not able to enjoy anything. It was really exhausting, it was traumatic, and I wanted to really move in my life forward and wanted some permanent cure. So session by session I had that doubt, but I gave it a shot. Reservations which I had was that I did not want to visit all the past activities. Okay. Which luckily I didn't have to go into narrating it. At least I just have to remember them and erase them during the sessions. I don't have to go through that pain all over again, because when you sit in a session, it's not only about the 3 or 4 problems which you think that they are causing you, but because there are many deeper problems which will come back and haunt you. After first few sessions, I realized that some of the old memories and everything got triggered. But because I was resolute, I want to go through all and give it the best try. So I continue with that. Session by session, I realized that physical pain started reducing. The major change in 6 months I faced is that overthinking over the problems which are not in my hand. That time I was able to control, and after a couple of weeks or months, I was able to almost eliminate them. They still come, ऐसा नहीं है, because there are problems around us which are not in our hand. But I am able to now brush them off. If there is something you can do, just do it and forget about it. Last time it was a sad event that one of my friends lost his mother. But I was actually able to sit through that whole time with him. For 2.5 years people were discussing it. It was a very heavy 2.5 hours, but I was able to go through it after the sessions were over. Nowadays I take only 3 medicines max. Most of the days I take only 2 medicines. That also because out of precaution, and my recent reports have also progressed. I'm able to lead a completely normal life. I didn't have any symptoms as of now. It's just out of precaution they perform the reports every year or in every 2 years. So the doctor was also very sure that I think it's completely healed. Just some small patch remain. So I'm able to focus more. I'm able to take calculative risk, not a blind risk. कि आज मेरा gut feeling ये कह रहा है, ये ले लो, ये कर लो, and then after I sit crying कि अरे ये क्या कर रही है. I'm able to expand it till FNO. It has become more strategic because I stopped giving in to emotions, and then after I hold it to 10-fold. I'll clear it out, I'll invest somewhere else, make my profit, and Recently, I've started on a small scale basis, friends portfolio, friends and some relatives only. I'm pursuing right now that they are adding funds. And I look forward to continue with this because during this journey, I realized that going back to job or doing the job was a very stupid thing. Because you have more potential than doing the job. Working for someone else for 16-17 hours, you are going to make the same thing if you work 3-4 hours for yourself. So there is no point in slowing down over there, leaving your kids behind. Rather than that, I enjoy at my home. I'm able to pursue my hobby of reading. I'm also going more into spiritual and mythology, which I was always interested in since beginning. And not even at that area, I'm not going blindly and running here and there. But I apply now analysis. That ये क्या बोल रहा है, इसको कहाँ से validate कर सकते, whether he is correct or he is just that thing is giving me more confidence, more grounding in terms of my work also and in terms of overall life also. I react very less and especially very less aggressively. Because earlier I used to react very aggressively towards my daughter, especially with her studies. Rather than understanding her issue, I used to take her for this कि ये मैंने बोला इतना करना है, ये नहीं किया तो मतलब she would be scared about me. But now she is also opening up. She doesn't have grudges or that kind of anger in her, thankfully. And family-wise, it's much peaceful, and we do enjoy our time together. Rather than I'll always keep her with my husband, and I'll go and sleep, or I'll go and watch TV or move her phone and everything. Instead of that, we go for a walk, dinner, and during these sessions, I also become very self-aware. What suits me, what doesn't suit me, and apply it. So earlier also, you know that this is wrong. Eating at 3 a.m. is wrong, but you don't apply. So nowadays, my mental strength or resolute has become more strong. That what is wrong, it doesn't belong to your body at this hour. You don't have to gulp it down. That helping me a lot. Not only to manage the disease because it's almost like under control, but it boosts your energy also, your overall appearance, your overall discipline, which I think my core personality is. So I'm getting alignment with that also. Somehow I realized that when you walk on the path of spiritualism, or you put your energy or your intention in that way, these things come on their own. I was having very calmer experience. And there are some divine intervention I had during healing parts and healing procedures and those Saturday meetings. So that motivates me more to stay on that path. And I feel that connectedness. It gives you confidence in yourself, belief in yourself. Dive into this program because it's quite a transformative experience and journey for me, and I'm sure about others also it's the same experience. You actually found yourself. That's one thing. Second thing is you may not be aware what kind of changes it will bring to you, but it will surely bring the best out of you, which you otherwise might miss in the entanglement of life and daily routines and everything. So if you want to give yourself and family the best version of you, this will be the best decision to go forward and take up the program.